What's up guys, welcome to my video where we're going to be looking at the top differential picks for the double game weeks coming up in game week 24 and 25. Before we begin the video, I just want to thank all of you guys for the support that you gave me on my last video, and welcome to the new subscribers. If you are enjoying this content, please consider subscribing, as it does mean a lot to me. Before we get into my player picks, let's first discuss what a differential is and why it is important to have differentials in your FPL squad. A differential player is a player who is lowly owned by other FPL managers. The reason it is important to have differentials in your team is that they separate you from other managers in a large way. If your differentials do well, then you will do extra well. If you have someone that is 60 or 70% owned by the community and they are up for contention for captaincy, if they do well, you will not see a rise in your rank. However, if you have a player in your squad that is below 20% owned and they do really well, you'll see a massive increase in your rank, and that is why it is so important to have the right differentials in your team. As you know, there are double game weeks coming up, and the teams that are affected by these double game weeks are City, Everton, Fulham, Burnley, Leeds and Southampton. So we will be looking at differential picks from these teams that you can choose to help you climb ranks. The first team that we're going to be choosing differential picks from is City, who play Tottenham and Everton in game week 24 for their double game week. Zinchenko will be the first differential that we will look at only 0.5% owned. He has started 6 of the last 8 games and has got subbed on for the other 2. City have only conceded 2 goals while he has been on the pitch. However, saying this, I still think Cancelo is a better option due to his goal scoring threat. The next City player that we will be looking at is Raheem the Dream Sterling at only 12.4% owned. Raheem has had 3 goals and 1 assist in the last 4 games and has hit recent form. He is also a great option for captaincy and is more of an incentive to bring him in. He has had more touches inside the box than Gundogan, but I would suggest having both in your team. Now on to Foden. Foden, the Wonder Boy, at 8.3% owned, I would still not consider as a good differential. He is a great player, but for FPL, I don't think he's there yet. He is high risk, high reward, which in FPL normally means it's not worth it. Before his game at Liverpool, he blanked for 5 games against easy opponents, so that kind of indicates that, he's not on the greatest form. He is also a rotation risk, more so than the other differentials. With the upcoming game weeks, I definitely think it's worth having at least 1 slot in your team for a City differential, as they could be great value. Moving on to Everton, who face Fulham and City in the next double game week in game week 24. Let's start off with Digne, who's only 7.1% owned. Before his injury, he recorded 5 assists in 8 games, which is great for a defender, and since he has been back, he has 2 assists in 5 games. The only negative is that Everton have only kept 1 clean sheet this whole season, so the prospects of that happening with the tough upcoming fixtures looks unlikely. Our next Everton differential is Rodriguez at 9.7% owned. He started off the season exceptionally well, however lately he has not been in great form, with just 2 goals in his last 6. I would not consider bringing him in. Now on to our final differential, Richarlison at 4.3% owned. Do not bring in Richarlison. He has blanked in his last 8 games, need I say more? Looking at the differentials for Everton, they just don't seem worth it, and I think there are better differentials from better teams out there. Let's move on to our next team, Fulham, who face Everton and Burnley in game week 24 for their double game week. Lookman is 1.2% owned. However, throughout the season he has only got 3 goals and 3 assists. Fulham are looking better, but they still don't look great, and I don't think there's too much hope for Lookman. Aina, who is 0.4% owned, would probably be your best defensive option at Fulham. He has scored once and has kept 4 clean sheets. You are investing into the defense with him, and Fulham's defense is not great, so I would not suggest this. Moving on to Burnley. With Burnley, a large percentage of people are going for Pope, and I actually think the differential play would be to have Pope with another defender. Looking at the defenders that you can choose from, your options are me, Tarkowski and Loughton. Me is the only defender with an attacking threat and has scored 2 goals throughout the season. Tarkowski is an expensive option with no real gain, so I don't think he's an option. And Loughton is by far the cheapest at 4.5 million, so maybe he would be a good differential pick. However, I would suggest going with me. Now on to Leeds, who play Wolves and Southampton in their double game week in game week 25. I think there are some great options from Leeds. We'll start with Rafinha, who is only 2.3% owned. Rafinha has 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 4 games and is only 5.3 million. He is therefore a great option due to his low price and his newfound form. Onto the defense, and Dallas is kind of a differential at 14.3% owned. He is a defender that is playing as a central midfielder. He is nailed on and has 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 4 games, and for that reason I think he is a great option. I would definitely consider bringing in one of these Leeds differentials for the double game weeks. Now lastly onto Southampton, and there's one differential that I really want to talk about. Minamino is only 0.3% owned and has recently moved to Southampton from Liverpool. He is already match fit and has fit straight into the team. In his first game he scored a goal and is looking like a great threat. In my opinion, he is up there as one of the best differential picks that could really boost your ranks during these double game weeks. So to sum up, it is definitely important to bring in 1 or 2 or 3 differentials during these double game weeks, as they could really help differentiate your team amongst the other managers and boost your ranks to a place where you would want to be. Anyway, that is all for this video. I hope it did help you in deciding what team you're going to roll with during the double game week. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to subscribe, and thank you to those who have subscribed. Cheers.